Royals HISSY fit having lead in pencil as BBC stalled for time. Princes and the Press podcast. The broadcaster was due to publish a 5-part podcast alongside the controversial documentary series exploring the relationship between the royal family and the press. However, it has reportedly been delayed amid concerns about how Buckingham Palace will respond to the second episode. BBC sources who spoke to the Telegraph admitted that the podcast, also hosted by media editor Amol Rajan, will instead be released as a box set at a later date. The second episode of the series, being broadcast at 9 p.m. last night on BBC Two, focuses on the departure of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The podcast, called Harry, Meghan and the Media, was expected to focus on the coverage of the Duchess of Sussex and allegations of sexism, racism and strategic leaks, the Telegraph reports. All three royal households, Buckingham Palace, Clarence House and Kensington Palace, expressed their anger at the 2-part documentary because they were not given a preview of its contents before broadcast. In a rare joint statement ahead of the first episode last week, the royal family said overblown and unfounded claims from unnamed sources are presented as facts, and it is disappointing when anyone, including the BBC, gives them credibility. But the royal family has so far held off issuing a formal complaint to the media regulator or the BBC directly, as it was awaiting what the final episode contained. Former Palace Press Secretary Dickie Arbiter said the documentary wasn't overly insightful despite focusing on the rift between Prince William and Harry and Meghan's fall from grace in the eyes of the media and the public soon after the wedding. The show also looked at how Meghan's popularity dived after the tour of South Africa. Remember, before that, the press coverage was so positive, it was unbelievable, Arbiter told Today. As they prepared to return to the UK from Africa after a highly successful tour, the couple announced they would sue sectors of the British press for invasion of privacy, which led to a backlash. One aspect of the documentary Arbiter pointed to was the way Buckingham Palace responded when a journalist phoned to ask about the relationship between William, Harry, Kate, and Meghan. In the early days they were called the Fab Four following a handful of joint appearances, but that quickly changed. They were thrown together to William and Catherine. The body language was sort of so open that you could write your own story on it, Arbiter said. And one of the journalists did contact the palace and said, "What is the relationship?" He was told that it is not good and it is worrying William. And yes, it did worry William. We have seen pictures time and time again, before they left the UK, of them together at various events, and the hostility between the two is unimaginable. Hostility coming from one quarter and William just ignoring it. The Mirror's royal editor Russell Myers said the documentary attempted to show how the birth of Archie in May 2019 was a real turning point in Harry and Meghan's attitude to wanting to stay in the royal family. They didn't want anything to do with the media and, indeed, the institution of the monarchy, Myers told Today Extra. So, there was a bit of explanation about how they went about it. He said a very interesting part of the documentary was the appearance, on camera, by Meghan's lawyer. Jenny Afia, of Shillings, is representing the Duchess in her court case against the Mail on Sunday and spoke to the documentary with Meghan's permission. She dismissed claims Meghan was a difficult or demanding boss and denied allegations the Duchess had bullied staff during her time as a senior working royal. Those stories were false, Afia told host Amol Rajan. This narrative that no one could work for the Duchess of Sussex, that she was too difficult or demanding a boss, and that everyone had to leave, is just not true. Afia explained, the overall allegation is that the Duchess of Sussex is guilty of bullying. When asked, "And is she?" by Rajan, she added, "Absolutely not." Rajan,